I'm Mike Pondsmith, and I'm the guy who killed your CyberPunk character. Oh, it was about 6 years ago, and actually it was funny because they called out of a clear blue sky, contacted our business manager, who's also my wife, and she said, there are a bunch of guys in Poland who want to do CyberPunk. And I said, yeah, that'll be about the 5th or 6th company that's contacted us over the years. But it turned out that they were actually fans and players of the Polish edition of CyberPunk. So they had to be serious fans, because, as I used to say, there must be 6 guys out there who are playing Polish CyberPunk, and I just lucked out and got the 6 guys. Well, basically my favorite film is Blade Runner, and I thought at some point I'm going to have to do a role-playing game on Blade Runner. Blade Runner, and then I saw Walter John Williams' Hardwired, which was a really great seminal book of that time, and I really liked the style of it, and I said that would be really great to kind of adapt into what I want to do. As it turned out, Walter ended up being one of the playtesters when we did CyberPunk, and he's a game designer on his own right and really talented. So it was kind of like a really good match, and allowed me to think outside the box for most CyberPunk stuff. So in the end, I wrote the game for me and anybody who wanted to get out, wear black leather, kick butt, and stick it to the man. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2048 are cerebral. They're very thinking man science fiction. You talk about really big issues and really big things. By contrast, most cyber things are basically action movies with bad prosthetics stuck on. We talk about some pretty deep issues, but we make it fun at the same time. Also, one of the big tricks is that good cyberpunk, which has a kind of a relative similarity to film noir, and all that kind of mean streets quality, should have a very personal level. Humphrey Bogart does not save the world in a Casablanca or Big Sleep. He's saving his partner or the girl or something that's very personal to him, and I think that's critical about cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is about little people dealing against more powerful forces. I'm there to a lot of times just, explain how something worked. I explain what things look like, what I had in mind. I also look at gameplay, which I've been involved in a bit of, and say, okay, well, this might work better than that. And it's useful because I'm not going to insist on really dumb things, because I know which ones are dumb. I've seen some things and I go, yeah, if I didn't know this, it would seem easy, but no, I know this isn't easy. So, I'm not necessarily going to insist on being done a certain way. When you do a role-playing game, you have to guess it, generally all the things that the people playing and running the game might come up with, and you have to build a very loose structure that's very sandboxy that answers the big sweeping issues. What if they come up with this particular answer? What if they have access to these tools and weapons? How will that change play? When you're dealing with a video game, traditionally what you're dealing with is a very controlled environment. It's like a ride almost. And the worst ones are ones where you get on and you go here and you come out there and you push 2 buttons and you win the game. Better ones, you have more options. But the difference is that once you put it in a can as a video game, there's really not a lot of turning back. You have to have it right the first time, because you're not going to get a lot of chances to go redesign something that took thousands of man hours and thousands of days to build. Instead, you've got to get it pretty solid, where with a role-playing game, it's an ongoing process that may never entirely end. My first big advice is always make sure that you really do have a good idea to begin with. Don't fall in love with your child. You really don't. I have a file cabinet that's 4 feet high and has 6 drawers that basically is of ideas that didn't work. And you have to be willing to say, yeah, I love this, but this also might suck. And there are 4 people on the planet who like it. And you don't do it because you want to sell it, but you have to understand somebody besides you and your friends has to like it. Why is that? What is your game about? Why is somebody going to burn enormous amounts of their time to be involved with the thing you make? What are they going to get from it? So my advice is, be willing to kill your children and look really hard at your game.